Hello, I'm John Rushton, the emotions expert, and today I'm going to be talking about feeling vulnerable. We all feel vulnerable from time to time. It's a natural thing to do. It affects some people more than others, but it's a mental condition which we bring on ourselves to a large extent. It's all about how we feel and how we feel in situ, in the place, in the area where we are, what we're doing, in the company, in the country we're in, whatever it may be. It's how we feel. And how we feel in that particular area is how we project ourselves, how we look upon life, how we look upon those around us, and how secure we feel in what we're doing. Now, we can't feel secure in everything we do in life. It's virtually impossible because we don't know everything. And quite often we've got to wing it and just try our best and see what happens, because that's the only option we have. We've got to do something, and doing something quite often is far, far better than doing nothing. Those people that do nothing get nowhere and eventually end up doing nothing anyway. They become redundant by their own default. Doing something actually enables us to see where we're going. Even if it's the wrong direction, that's quite a positive thing. If it's the wrong direction, then we turn around and go back, and at least we know now not to go down that route. And that could happen a number of times. We could go down the route half a dozen times and find, oh, this isn't the one either, and that isn't the one, and this other one isn't the one, and that, but at least we are now getting closer and closer to the routes we need to go down. And not only that, subliminally we will have picked up all the knowledge of going down those wrong routes, and how our thought process has actually come around for us to say, oh, this isn't it, I'm turning around, I'm going back. And all the mental processes and the emotions which get wound up in doing that and starting again. But you shouldn't give up hope, and you shouldn't feel despondent or low about anything like that, because all the successful people in life have failed miserably once or twice, or maybe more times. They've all done something which has not gone well. And so feeling vulnerable is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just quite often circumstantial. You can be in a crowd of people who are incredibly knowledgeable on a certain subject, and you hardly have any knowledge about that at all. And so you can feel a little insecure. But you've got to be honest and say, listen, I know very little, if next to nothing, on this subject. At least they know, and you're not trying to waffle your way through it and and ah and stand in the corner, look down so nobody takes your glance, because you don't want to talk to anybody, because you're frightened of saying something or disgracing yourself or embarrassing yourself or whatever it may be. None of this. You've got to be fully aware and just say, well, I'm sorry, I can't answer the question. I'm really not very knowledgeable on this subject at all. And be open and honest and put yourself in that position. It's not always easy to do that, because it tends to creep up, but eventually you've got to go there and just say, well, that's it, and if they don't like it, they don't like it. There's nothing I can do. And just have this sort of potluck attitude. But by the same token, you can actually be very, very clever, and you can be very knowledgeable, and you can be very astute, but you can also be a person who is quite withdrawn, and you're going into a new company or an organization or a group of people who don't know this, and you keep very, very quiet, and you get all hot and flustered, and you get all sweaty, and the palms of your hands get all sticky, and you start to hyperventilate a bit, and all of these kind of things. And this is all about you not wanting to let yourself down, frightened of saying the wrong thing, frightened of being made fun of, frightened of someone taking the mickey out of you, frightened of being put down, and all of these kind of things. And you shouldn't. You should, and if people do that, it says a lot about them. If someone's got to put you down to make themselves feel good, then they are absolute, pardon the expression, shits. They shouldn't do that because it makes them look the person they are small. They are. If you have to put people down to make yourself feel good, it's because you're insecure yourself. There's nothing much good about you. You should help up people upwards, because when you help people up, you help yourself up as well. You elevate who you are as a person. You elevate your understanding, your compassion. You elevate your comprehension of life and people around it, and how you could sort of homogenize with all those around you too, and bring them all together and be part of the one culture, this understanding which humanity has. It's not that you can't be different. You can be totally different. You can be the black sheep of the family, and all the one here, one there, something different. But that's not a bad thing. That's good. This shows your identity. This shows you who you are. This gives you purpose. This gives you compunction. This gives you a joie de vivre. It gives you an upliftment of life. It gives you everything you need to do. So feeling vulnerable is not necessarily a bad thing. It's a temporal thing. It's something which happens at a particular moment in time. Now, some people do have a problem that they feel vulnerable all the time, and this is more of a mental condition, and you really need to have treatment for that, because you can get over it. Some people are withdrawn, and they just cannot talk to other people, and they get tongue-tied and in a terrible situation. But the vast majority of people are not like that. And so when you occasionally feel vulnerable out of your depth, or completely in a foreign area in your life, then you've got to look at it and think, well, okay, I'm here, I'm doing this, these people are that, at least I can be nice to them. At least I can say hello. At least I can ask them how they are. They may not be technically sort of demanding questions, but it's humanity, actually getting on with humanity. And people generally respond to that. And if you're honest with most people, not everybody, because some people will want to take advantage of you for themselves because there's nothing better to do. There's sort of low-life people. But the vast majority of people, if you are honest with them, will be honest with you. They will accept you for what you've said. They'll praise you and respect you that you've actually physically told them, listen, I don't know, I can't, I'm out of my depth, where do I go, what do I do? And there are those who are more than happy to help you, to put you on the right pathway, to put you on the right footing. Don't be frightened of being turned down. Don't be frightened of people saying, no, I don't know, oh, it's over there somewhere, oh, it's down there, oh, ask somebody else. Don't be frightened of that. There are always those people, but those people are worse than you. They are demanding that they are those kind of people. You are being genuine, that you don't know. You're feeling a bit like a fish out of water. You're feeling a bit vulnerable in where you are, what you're doing. It's all new territory. You're feeling very discriminatory about yourself. You're putting yourself in a position where you shouldn't really, but you are putting yourself in that position because it's a case of overthinking. Be a nice person. Do what you need to do. Be kind to people. Be nice to people. You know, excuse me, could you help me? I don't know this. I don't know where to go. I'm new here. I don't. Yes. Oh, you'll find most people are more than happy to help. Do this whatever level you are in, because you will find it's to your benefit, and you'll come over that feeling that, oh, I am vulnerable, because that vulnerability is only temporal. It's only a short space of time, and within a very short space of time and a few nice people, it'll change completely. You'll feel that you are on the right lines again. Don't put yourself down. Don't lock yourself into a cold room which is dark and dull and dingy. Don't put yourself in the corner of the room and look down so nobody can catch your glance. Don't do any of these things. You don't have to be vivacious and go round and smiling and shouting at everybody, but just engage with a few people, ask a few people, and you'll be amazed at the results. Do this for yourself. You are worth it as a person. You will find it being worthwhile that other people will be also in that position, or have been in that position too, and know only too well what you're going through. So don't put yourself down again. Go and ask, get help, and you'll find life will change immeasurably for your benefit.